Hello and welcome to
Socially Unsocial. I'm Patty.
and I'm Danielle.
Eek, and we're so happy to be here.
Happy President's Day.
And happy 3 days before our fundraising event. 4 days?
4 days. Well, I guess are you counting today?
I don't know. What are we supposed to do in countdowns?
I
Do
don't
we
know.
count the day that we're in?
So is that why people say sleeps now? Like 3 sleeps still?
It's so much less confusing to say 3 sleeps. Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yep, 3 sleeps.
3 sleeps. All right, that's how we'll do it from now on. We're just going to count it in sleeps.
Everyone, you heard it here. We're changing the game. We're not counting down the days. Counting down sleeps. It's more accurate.
It's easier too because we're not counting on the hours either.
No.
And it just feels like forever when you do that, right?
I know.
Okay, so 3 sleeps. If you haven't purchased your ticket,
Too late.
You suck.
You missed the boat. No, you can still come.
No, I'm actually over the moon, obviously. Me and Patty have been kind of freaking out inside, not letting the whole world know that we were nervous because we kind of threw it together on a whim, hoping to promote our podcast and also do something for a good cause. And it was a slow start, but now we are over the moon and overwhelmed by the amount of tickets that have been purchased and the amount of people that say they were going to stop by if they could. So Thank you to everyone who is coming out and supporting our evening.
Seriously, a shout out to Danielle and family. It helps to partner with an Italian who's got family here. I tell you. It's going to be such a fun night. I'm so pumped to see people that I haven't seen. It kind of reminds me of, and I mentioned this the other day, Danielle does a Santa Claus brunch. And anybody who's a client of hers, she's a real estate agent if you're new here. And if you're a client, you get invited. Sometimes even if you're not a client, you could potentially still get invited.
It's a VIP list. It's a VIP list.
And it's so fun. And the people are always just happy and it's a good time. And it's something that everybody looks forward to. I was thinking this yesterday, that everything, if it has a little bit of a Danielle touch to it, it's just going to work. It's just going to happen. It's going to be fun. And I'm really excited because I feel like, I'm like the wind. No, you're the wind beneath my wings. I'm just like kind of coasting through. She's panicking. She's nervous. I'm not nervous because I know she's got it covered.
I guess that's a good way of thinking of it. And thank you. Thank you for the compliment. It definitely was a team effort. You're not giving yourself enough credit.
Hey, I'm going to show up.
You're going to be the star of the show. I'm going to throw the mic in your hands on Thursday and let you run with it.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Who gave this girl a microphone? Oh my God.
Every Monday, guys.
And really almost every day because I'm on the mic for my fitness classes.
So you're a pro. It's a natural.
I wouldn't say I'm a pro. Maybe I do feel like a natural.
Yeah, the more you do something, even if you're not technically pro status.
Yeah, you could be.
Yeah, you could be.
Interesting. I like that for all of us.
So I don't know if some of our listeners who are not on social media understand or know that part of our cause is for mental health awareness. Mm-hmm. So we kind of want to dive deep on that, kind of get a little sentimental or a little bit uncomfortable or vulnerable. Okay, Good. That's a better word.
Yeah, sentimental is a good word too, but I feel like it'll be just like a really open, deep, meaningful.
Okay, but before we dive into this, I promised my friend Anna, who is a nurse who works with heart disease prevention, because now we are towards the end of February, and it is Heart Disease Awareness Month, and we didn't mention it the past couple weeks. And because last week was wearing red and it has more or today's wearing red day or something about wearing red. Okay. And again, I'm not a nurse. You don't want me to be a nurse, but she is very upset the lack of awareness and the lack of the way people are talking about it. So the other day, in pure Anna fashion, she was driving to work and the radio had mentioned it was Wear Red Day. And they talked about heart disease awareness, and then that was it. And they went in to talk 20 minutes about Valentine's Day. Well, I know you know Anna. Some of our listeners may know Anna. So Anna was not happy. So she called the radio station.
I knew she was going to call in. Yes. Go, Anna.
She called the radio station and expressed how upset she was that they kind of just coasted right over it by talking about wear red and didn't dive into the whole idea of why we wear red and why we want to make heart disease awareness something that people should be aware of, because you can catch it early and potentially save a bunch of lives. And that's
Wow.
what she's doing in her career. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that producer to have answered the phone to hear her school him. And he's like, okay, I understand, ma'am. I'm sorry. We are going to dive deeper on that on the next segment.
Did they invite her to come and be a guest talker?
They should have, but they're probably like, oh, Lord, we don't have enough sponsors for this.
But that's a good idea. And sometimes maybe they should have just aired what she said. Air what she says and enlighten us. I think that's the hardest thing. When you're not a nurse, you're not a doctor, you don't go to school for that stuff. So when you have ailments, Anna's my go-to. I mean, when you have these things, you just don't know. So yeah, let's talk about it. Heart disease, I don't know. Is this something that young people get? Old people? What is this?
Anna?
All people. Anna, phone a
maybe
friend.
Next time you can educate us a little bit more, but
yeah.
I guess
ask Chat GPT and see what he comes up with, because, maybe everyone should just do that. And then you guys could be a little bit more aware on how to prevent it. Heart disease prevention.
Right.
I don't know.
Just take care of yourself, take care of your heart, watch what you're eating, because I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Absolutely. Everyday stress probably puts a lot of stress on your heart as well. I guess annual checkups, because I think the biggest thing is, I think even if you're feeling fine, you can still have a problem. So, guys, just go get your heart checked. And if you have any questions, reach out to Anna.
Yeah, it says eat a heart-healthy diet, fruits, veggies. We know that. Limit saturated fats. We know that. We do that. We stay active. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise, like brisk walking, per week.
That's pretty easy to do. 150
Absolutely.
minutes?
150 minutes a week. So let's go. It's not easy to do in the Midwest when it's nasty out. You don't have a gym membership.
But you can walk around your house.
Dancing.
Do your stairs.
Yeah, totally. My kids are really into, I should say I'm really into it because they're into it, YouTube dance videos for kids. Like Valentine's Day dance, the Grinch dance, any sort of holiday, any sort of snow day, which just happened to us. It was like, a cold day. I'm like, where's the YouTube dance for today? It just gets you moving. So try it.
All right, Anna, well, I hope we made you proud. We talked about heart disease awareness.
Did we give it enough time?
I hope so. But now we're going to move on to the segment we want to talk about, is mental health awareness. So I was talking to Patty and I was like, I feel like mental health has become something we talk about more so now than we did in the past. But then I feel like it's almost become a mockery sometimes, like, oh, I need a mental health day. People kind of just say it as casual and breezy.
Right. It's like a trending thought, trending ideas. Yeah.
Which, okay, that's great. But I think in the grand scheme of things, we need to learn that mental health is not just about how we feel. It's what we do to make ourselves feel healthy, happy, relaxed, less stress. And I think that maybe I shouldn't say we, but like our parents didn't believe in therapy. I think the biggest thing growing up, if you went to therapy, there was something wrong with you. If you were on meds, something was wrong with you. And I feel like in today's day and age, it's almost like everyone has a therapist, everyone has a script, and everyone wants to talk about it, which is great. But I still feel like there's that casual few that don't want to talk about things. And I think that's when people get themselves into trouble, when they keep it all bottled up inside, or they don't take time for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a ticking time bomb. If you don't deal with it, eventually you're going to deal with it, and it's not going to be the right time. And potentially you won't have the coping skills if it comes to a head all at once. So that's why I think from a young age to stay open. I was in therapy when I was younger. I mean, my parents were of a different generation where it was, you don't go to therapy. But when you see somebody that's struggling, I'm lucky that I had the parents I did that saw me struggling and said, okay, well, how can we help her get the coping skills that she needs? And so that's been in my life ever since. I need the coping skills to get through. And once you find those, people will say, oh, I had a really bad day. And I'll think to myself, well, what were you doing that week? If you're having a night where you're up all night with anxiety or you're depressed or whatever it is, there's things that have happened to lead up to that. So if you're really mindful, jot your stuff down. Look back at your calendar, look back at what you've done, because it really does, it all adds up to the way that you feel. So if you have things that are challenges for you, you have to know that. And then you have to know beyond just knowing it. You have to actively try to make sure that you set yourself up for success.
Have you learned to incorporate things into your daily routine or your weekly routine or your monthly routine that has helped you feel less stressed or feel happy about where your mental health status is?
Totally. When I was younger, I have journals upon journals. I started when I was 14. My grandpa gave me some random diary. It was like a cutesy little kid one with a lock. And I started writing. Sometimes it would be just the nonsense I did all day. Sometimes I would write poetry, whatever it was. And that really helped. And then now in my adult life, I have a really long note on my phone. And my therapist, when I tell her, oh, I've been sleeping awful, she'll say, well, are you writing before you go to bed? And I'm like, no, I've been forgetting that. And so then I'll get back into that routine. So writing before bed, if that helps you, there's all these calming music and apps and stuff. YouTube, if you YouTube a calming meditation, trying to like meditate to de-stress before bed, like you would literally just YouTube that and it'll pop up and you can listen to it 5 minutes before bed or in the morning if you want to. Also, I have a Bible app that I recently decided to put notifications on. So once a day, it'll notify me and then I get to just read that line and just take a few deep breaths. On your Apple Watch or other watches might have it too, there's a breathing setting that you can do that says when your heart rate is such and such, or just anytime throughout the day, you can actually start it. And it takes you through a breathing exercise by doing just a little like display, which I think is really cool. So I gave 5 different things. I do all of them when I remember. But oftentimes that's the problem, is that when you need it, it's gone too far.
Right.
When you need it, you're already stressed.
Right. You're so far down that you don't know how to get yourself back up.
Right. So that's super important then to get in a habit. Don't just use it and do those things when you need it. Do those things every single week. Move your body. I exercise for a living. I get my cardio. I get my workout. I see people. I connect with other humans. And every single class of mine, there's at least 2 songs where I just chill and am kind of in my feels. And I allow the room to do the same. See where your mind goes. And that is really important.
Yeah, I think that if you treat your brain and mental health kind of like a savings account,
Ooh,
of course, because a lot of people are bad at saving money, and they only think about their savings account when they need money, when a car breaks down, when something happens, and they're like, oh shit, I don't have enough in my savings account to fix the problem. It's kind of like that's how our brain is. If we're not doing something daily to put away for that rainy day when we need it, then it's not going to work. And you're going to get yourself further and further in debt. Same thing, you're going to get yourself further in mental health debt. And I think I've learned that, especially more so in the last 6 months than the last 42 years of my life, is understanding the value of space and time and boundaries and just little small habits. Mm-hmm. And what works for me might not work for you. Like they say, clutter. Clutter is a big thing. If you have a room that's cluttered, if your bedroom's cluttered, you're probably going to be more anxious than the person that has a decluttered room. And then again, there's probably some things or cluttered rooms that don't bother people, don't make them anxious. But clutter makes me super anxious, and I can't, move on to the next thing in my life until that clutter is gone. Not waking up and directly going to have coffee, I've switched that.
Good for you. That's huge.
And I think that is completely helped because you're not just putting caffeine into your body to make yourself more jittery. I'm like taking some time in the morning, walking around the house, drinking water, If there is sunlight, looking at the sunlight, taking my walk outside, even when it's 20 degrees outside. And that has helped tremendously just to calm down the brain from like overspinning when like already getting started on your to-do list, like taking that moment, taking that breath, because I've noticed that when I do wake up with anxiety, all I want to do is lay in bed. But they say that's the worst thing you can do when you have anxiety. You need to get up. You need to get moving.
You need to move. Absolutely. Water, movement, sun. Those are the trifecta for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was really big. That was so much awesome wisdom there. I never really thought of it as like a savings account, but as you were talking, I was like, am I on a podcast with Mel Robbins right now? What? Did anybody at home feel that way?
I'm working towards my certification in life coaching.
Are you?
No, but it's been popping up on my feed
Let me tell
all the time. Jay Shetty has a class.
Yep.
I
know.
But is it so gimmicky? Who pays for this? Would you pay out of pocket for a life coach?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, one that I thought was cool. Yes. You just posted something that was like, don't take criticism from people that you wouldn't go to for advice or something along those lines. And it's like, yes, I would love to have a life coach, but it has to be the right person. So can we do this for you and see if it like pops off? Because so many people that I follow on Instagram, 2 people that I know of. One is like a health coach. Love her. She works at Lifetime. Her name's Liana. I should tag her because she's doing like a one-on-one or a virtual with like multi-people sessions for like dietitians and, okay, that's the wrong word, but like nutrition help.
Okay.
And then just how to feel better in life. And then the other girl, this girl Priscilla, who I'm obsessed with, she is a Lululemon ambassador and she is a cycle instructor. And she's doing literally like 15-minute calls on this app called Intro Life Coaching. Priscilla, the cycle coach, she's literally charging so much money for 15 minutes. And do you know how close I was to being like trying to justify it in my head? Like, well, if I took her out for lunch one day to pick her brain, it would cost that much or more. Yeah, I probably will do it one day. But you should do it. You can just do a virtual session.
But then I feel like
that's cool.
It's so cool. I would
get certified.
Love to like
tell people what to do.
Right. I've been doing that my whole life.
You literally would be like Judge Judy almost. Everybody wants a crystal ball. Everybody wants help making decisions. You could listen and then you could say, this is what I think that you should do. This is what I think about this. This is what I think about this. Therapists, I've noticed, can't really tell you what to do in life, but they freaking know. I'm like, you know what I should do. You know, don't try to ask me the question to see what I feel and what I think. Don't try to get me there. Just tell me.
Right. And that's what I told you. I came back from Costa Rica and I told Patty, I'm like, okay, I think when I was away, I realized I've been talking about this for years, but I need a therapist. I need to go and I need to work through some of my shit. And she's like, I'm just surprised you with all the shit you don't have one yet. But I said, my problem is I have the conversations with myself in my head. And then I know what my problem is. I know what the answer is. And that would be my frustrating part if I'm dealing with a therapist and they're just looking at me and nodding and saying, yeah, yeah. And I want them to tell me like, you are stupid. You are right. You are wrong. No, instead of doing this, you need to say this or keep your freaking mouth shut.
Mm-hmm. You need the right therapist that knows you. Some are very standoffish. I mean, I guess just like humans in general. You know, you have all these friends. Who's the friend that can actually call you out and hold you accountable for things, you know? So you might go through a few different therapists. I told you mine broke up with me a couple years ago and I still miss you. If you're listening, I miss you.
Come back.
Seriously, take me back. No, she was great because she did call me out. And also she was so fashionable. I just loved going to see her. Anyways, you'd be a great life coach.
Well, okay.
2025, that was not on my bingo card or my prediction for you.
No, I don't know. It's just weird. It's been popping up in my feed. And that's like the craziest thing about, I tell you guys, my conspiracy theories, that sometimes I think your phone reads your brain and maybe even your subconscious, because why all of this? Maybe it's because I'm following the Mel Robbins and Jay Shetty and all those people. So it's kind of like in your algorithm and it's pushing
you know what I love? your algorithm, because you are very mindful. You don't just like scroll through nonsense, because my feed has shown me certain things too. And I know that it's because we are on there to better ourselves. So we stop and look at the things that talk about how to do this better, how to, relieve your stress, how to eat, like all the things. And I think that your phone is basically telling you that you've got what it takes.
Okay.
Right? Like, here, you've looked up all this knowledge. This is what your interests are. And now what are you going to do with them from here?
Well,
I tell my kids
life starts at 43.
Life starts at 43. But I do tell my kids, and I feel like I've said this recently because it's in the forefront of my mind so much in 2025. If you can find what you love doing and you can make a career out of it, what you are truly passionate about, and if it helps others, that is the key. And you will be successful and you will fulfill all the dreams and goals in your heart. If you can do that, you have to love it. You have to be passionate, and it has to involve helping the world be a better place.
Yes, exactly.
That's the dream.
That is the dream, to live in peace.
Mm-hmm. So what were you going to say?
Well, I felt like I was like one of the runners up at the pageants, like talking about like, oh, peaceful world and save the world. And I know that's like very unrealistic. We're never going to live in peace. And I don't actually want to live in peace, because I feel like you learn through the challenges in life. So if your life was just peaceful, you'd probably be a very, very boring person.
Absolutely. I was just thinking, because something on social media with Stephen Colbert and who's Cooper Anderson?
Mm-hmm.
Anderson Cooper?
Anderson Cooper.
I'm the worst. I literally don't think I've ever not butchered somebody's name. So you're welcome if I mention you. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I saw the two of them, and they were talking about the things in life that you lose, and the really big hardships in life are actually like God's biggest blessings, because they show you who you are and they challenge you. And it's so hard. There's been so many times in my life when I'm just like, why did this happen? And I'm sure that people that have it way worse than me and go through like real traumas at young ages and all the worst things in life, you can sit there and say like, why me? Right? Like, why me? Why is this? Why is that? But God will equip you. And if you're going through whatever it is that you're going through, you have to just mindfully try to be actively focusing on yourself so that you take care of yourself. And sometimes you're in survival mode, and be in survival mode. Don't think that you have to do anything other than just survive. One of my favorite things to say to remind people is, if all you did this year, this month, this week, today was get through it, that's enough, and be okay with that, because you don't need to be doing above and beyond when it takes you 100% of your effort just to keep moving forward. But if you have that savings account, like you were saying, you build up these smart habits.
Oh, good. Yeah,
so you rely on those and go back to those in the challenging moments or through the hardest of the hard things. And having a good crew of people around you that are going to remind you, hey, have you done this yet? Have you done this week? Have you been sleeping? Have you been eating? Maybe sending somebody a home cooked meal or a smoothie would be like really a nice treat for somebody if you see other people struggling. Now that we know that, maybe don't drop off chocolates and a card, maybe drop off a juice from Nectar and something that has substance in it. I remember my dad when he was getting sick and he didn't have a taste for anything. And so I would bring him Nectar juices, which is really yummy juices. And he was in the hospital once and he was like, where'd you get that vanilla protein shake from? And I got so happy because I was like, yes, sometimes it's just like little things that you can do to take care of the people around you. And you don't always hit the nail on the head, and it's really hard, but then also remember and take care of yourself that same way.
Because sometimes it's the doing for other people that has an impact on you that you don't really know it's happening until it's done. Mm-hmm. If you're doing it for the right reasons, again. If you're doing it for a pat on the back and a thank you and you're the best, then it's obviously the wrong reason, and you need more help than I can provide at that point.
Call a different life coach.
Yeah. I mean, you can call me, but you're probably not going to like what I have to say.
So maybe you're the exact right life coach.
It might be. Yeah. Start charging people for my rude comments and
you know what? You're passionate. You found your passion. None of your friends love it often as much as you're willing to provide that service. So there's people out there that'll pay. You should tell all your friends.
Now they're going to be like, sorry, can't afford you, so stop giving me your opinion.
Oh, that's so great. I love that. This is exciting for you.
It is. So our podcast, people have been asking me lately, how's it going? And what's your podcast about? And
I love that question.
And we've been getting it so much. And I ran into someone yesterday that's coming to our event, and it's a gentleman, older gentleman. And he's like, well, what is it about? So I feel like I've been getting really good at this, like really good explaining it, because as much as I feel like it's kind of like a Seinfeld episode where it's a whole episode about nothing sometimes, but it's about every day and implementing our lives and what we learned that day or tragedies we went through.
Yeah.
But also throwing in, and it might not be every episode where we reference social media, bring up social media. But again, it was just so funny because I had just posted my pictures from Costa Rica, 2 days ago. And so when I ran into my friend yesterday, she goes, "You're back already? Weren't you in Costa Rica?" I'm like, "Oh, I've been back for 2 weeks." And she's like, "Oh, when you see it on social media, you think it's," so again, it goes back to the same thing. And I was just telling her, I'm like, we watch on social media people's lives unfold in front of our eyes, and we think it's real life, real time, and we don't take a step back. And then I was talking to another girl, and she goes, and she never listened to our podcast, and I was explaining what it's about, and she's like, oh my God. She's like, I deactivated my Facebook and my Instagram because I was getting so tired of scrolling and comparing my life to these people's lives. And it was making me so sad, and it was making me so depressed that I had to get away from it. She's like, well, and I was going to go back and activate it, but I forgot all my passwords. So it's like, well, maybe that was a sign, maybe you need a little bit more time away from social media.
Did you tell her about Sheets? Did you have that opportunity?
I did not. I did not.
How'd you hold back?
Maybe I'm going to put a little survival kit together for
I'm shocked.
And a tutorial on how to use it.
You know what? She'll be your first client when you're a life coach. Here's how I can help you. I already know. I already have my sheets on you, so this is perfect.
Right. Reference Patty. She'll help you. Maybe give me 1.5 thumbs up.
Yeah, right.
Because that was Anna too. She's like, I hate technology. And every time I try to log in for the kids and do this and do that, she's like, and then they want me to reset my password because I don't remember my password. I'm like, Google Sheets. Two words, Google Sheets.
Mm-hmm. Seriously, I'm trying to deactivate a subscription that I bought the other day for my mom. And I forgot the password, and I swear the password was like Mom Rocks or something. I was like, oh, I'm totally going to remember this.
Isn't that the worst? And you're like, oh, in the moment, you're like, God, how am I not going to remember this?
Yeah, and it's like a yearly subscription. It's for Hulu. So I have my own problems with my own Hulu. And then I go to my mom's house. I'm like, let me give more problems. But it was to stream the Super Bowl live. So I had to get like Hulu Plus. And nobody in the room could figure it out.
And you figured it out?
And I freaking figured it out. And I was like, before, okay, I knew that I was about to figure it out. I was just going to pay for this subscription. It's not that hard, right? Like, it's not that hard. But I first was like, who here has tried this? And I was like, you who over there? Like to my brother-in-law, to my husband. You guys tried this? It didn't work? Oh. And I like sat for like a solid 10 seconds. Boom. Super Bowl's on. I was like, just letting it like simmer. But
were you waiting for like a bunch of cheering and high fives?
It was in my head.
Oh yeah,
like the crowd.
There was a stadium of Super Bowl people cheering you on.
And actually, my older sister Chrissy was like, "Excuse me, Patty, they all tried it. They couldn't get it. You just got it." I was like, "Thank you. I'll pay you later for saying that. Thank you." But I mean, that's a good feeling.
It is.
Until I was like, "Don't forget that on February, whatever, you have to end the free trial."
Oh yeah.
I'll do that today.
Okay.
If I can figure out my password.
So you haven't really been implementing the whole Google Sheets thing?
No.
Did you download the app so it's on your phone, so it's just very accessible?
Yes, but in the moment I was like, I'm of course going to remember this. So I didn't need it for the sheets. I didn't need it. I was so convinced.
You always need a scratch pad near you when you're creating a password.
But sometimes my phone saves it. So I'm like, phone, what's going on? Why didn't you save it?
Never trust technology.
Yeah. Amen.
So, guys, I don't know if you guys just saw me. If you're watching on YouTube, I think the only person that watches is Michelle. And Michelle, I'm sorry, I've slacked. So I think we're behind 3 episodes live on YouTube. You can listen to it, but you can't see us. She says she likes watching us for the facial expressions. So I'm going to do a few. But we have new merch. We have our sweatshirts we made right now, just a limited amount because we want to see how it goes.
These are so soft and so adorable.
That's what my mom said. They're really soft. So we will be selling them first release at our event on Thursday.
Woo woo.
And then we'll have a sign up sheet. So if we get enough interest, we'll order some more. But if you want to be a part of the Socially Unsocial Social Club
Woo.
and want to look like Patty and I,
who doesn't?
shoot us a message.
I love it. Yeah, these are so cozy. I told Danielle I'm going to wear this forever. And then on the back, I wanted to say on yours and I's really big, like, ask me about my podcast.
Oh.
Because I've seen some that say, like, as a fitness instructor, ask me about my playlist. Because it's like the thing that we love to talk about the most is music and our playlisting. But yeah, I'll wear this. I'll wear it all around. Free advertising, right?
Oh, for sure.
Ask me about my playlist. I should get a bumper sticker. We should get bumper sticker.
No. Do I look like a bumper sticker kind of person? I mean, I know I have stickers on my computer, but that's as far as I go.
Oh my God. I just thought of the best April Fool's prank.
You're going to put a fucking bumper sticker on my car? Like, honk at this asshole.
Oh my God. And you're going to be like, dude, everyone's honking at me. And it's going to be great.
Jay hates, well, I hate it too, the stick figure families.
Wait, we've talked about this with Dominique. I always think of Dominique with this.
I should get one and just put it on Jay's card. Because he gets so, I mean, talk about angry for no reason. Like the anger that boils in his blood when we're behind a car with the stick figure family, especially when they have stick pets.
The best is when they have a Mickey Mouse ear hat on. Have you seen those?
No. I would be like, did Patty get a new car?
Seriously. I haven't seen a stick family in so long.
They probably got the memo. They went out of style.
They kind of went out of style.
They never were in.
Can we bring them back?
Did Chrissy have one on her car?
I think so.
Was she the one with the Mickey Mouse ears on it?
That's so funny. Chrissy, are you listening? Please send us a memo. Was it you? Oh my God, it's so funny. I thought you were going to say the baby on boards really get you. It's like, do you think I'm going to drive any less or more safe because you drive safer then? Remind yourself you have a baby in the car.
So you want to hear something really funny based on that? Funny / sad.
What?
2 of my aunts are a little insane, especially when it comes to driving. So they thought if they put a baby on board in their car, even though there's no baby on board, people won't mess with them and drive nice around them.
That's so funny.
That's so insane.
So wait, did they actually do it? Not only it's fine to have the thought, but to go through and be like, yeah, this is what we're doing. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh. So now when I see someone, I'm like, you're a fucking liar. You don't have a baby on board in there.
Let me see the car seat.
Just like the student driver. Be patient, student driver. I'm like, how long have you been learning to drive? You look like you're 40.
You know what? That's such a good point. But a lot of people don't get their license until later in life.
If I didn't have my license, it's just the same thing with one car families. I would kill myself. If I had to wait for my husband to be like, I need the car, I need to go somewhere.
I know.
Hell to the no.
You know, because you like your independence. You want to go when you want to go.
Right.
No questions asked. You need the car.
Yeah. Or if I didn't have a license because I was too afraid, I would have an electric scooter, electric bike, something to get me out of the house. Like, hell no.
I just pictured you on a little Vespa.
I'm just thinking of Dumb and Dumber.
With that helmet. With their like helmets. And then also just like picturing me pulling up next to you and then just waving to you. But then also if we were both behind a family of a stick family. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I felt like that was good. That was good for my mental health right there, just to kind of laugh it out.
Well, Yes, laughter is so key to just, but I feel like when we first started too, I would be like crying laughing because when people ask, what are you doing with your podcast? We have no idea, but we have a freaking good time talking to each other and hearing, especially like feedback from listeners and just realizing. And now with this event coming in a couple days, realizing that in the dead of winter, gloomy days, cold days, whatever, we get to come together and see people like, what is your podcast about? That's what it's about.
Right.
And
I feel like it could be a takeaway from whatever. You can listen to this and get something completely different out of it than the next person listening to it. It's what you need for the day. You can find your way through it. And that's been lead us into my high. One of my highs, I actually have 2 highs, but
yay, good week for you.
Yeah. I've been getting a lot of feedback based on our podcast, and a text message from someone that said, I was listening to your podcast about taking time for yourself and reading books. And I took your guys' advice and I've been reading. She already read 3 books for the year. And obviously, if you know the date, we're already, mid February, and she's down for 3 books, who never used to take time for herself because she works full time and has 2 kids. So I was like, that's awesome. And you know what? If this podcast never goes anywhere, I'm just grateful we were able to help, her realize that she needs her alone time.
Totally.
And then another friend said she was just going to throw it all to the wind and create her business and start her side business. And we inspired her to do so. Just to go for it.
I love that.
So
what's it called? Can we support?
Yeah.
Can we tag her?
So they are donating a raffle prize for our event on Thursday.
Awesome.
So it's called Reston Creations. So she took her creative business and paired it up with her brother-in-law who does leather, I don't know what you call it, refinery, leather crafts.
Okay. Wow.
So they're combining that. So it should be something pretty cool. So I'm excited to see that.
Wow, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's just been pretty cool just hearing how people are actually taking our advice. Would you say that? Taking our advice, listening to us, or implementing what we say.
Yeah.
And like I said before, we're nobody. Really. We're not certified. We are not specialized in any kind of
like decrees. Yeah, we don't have the accolades.
Yeah.
But we've got each other.
But they say you learn through experience. And I think the smart people are willing to learn through other people's experiences and say, okay, I'm not going to try to do it on my own. I'm going to listen to what they did. And if it worked for them, maybe I can try it and it'll work for me. If not, you pick yourself back up and you start again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that. That's really, really cool. I love that you get feedback like that. What's your low of the week?
So this is also like a low and a high.
Oh, I love when this happens.
So as most of you know, I do not have children, but I support my niece and my nephews like they're my own. And every year I get suckered into going to the talent show that my niece is in. And she does amazing. And she's such a performer. Talented. She's such a performer. So her and her bestie danced to 22 by Taylor Swift. And they were just so cute and adorable. So I don't know what other schools do, but this event, I'm not even exaggerating, is almost 3 hours. Starts at 6:30 and we wraps up around 9:15.
Past my bedtime. Nope.
I don't understand why it's so effing long. So that's my low, because last year I was like, I'm not going, or I'm going to leave at intermission because hopefully she's on before intermission and I'm going to leave. And then my mom was like, I feel bad leaving. I'm like, no one's going to be paying attention to us. But so we stayed.
We stayed.
And it was kind of cute because there was two good shows, 2 good acts, I should say. There was these little kids are so cute. They had a band. They did the White Stripes. It was like their rock band.
That's adorable. Yeah.
7 Nation Army. So you had these kids on the guitar and singing and the drums. And then there was a Wicked. They did a compilation of all the songs from Wicked. So that was so good too. So I'm kind of glad I stayed. But 3 hours for a talent show, I don't even pay Broadway shows that I pay for. I don't even want to sit through 3 hours of that.
That's such a good point. I don't understand why they don't split it up into 2 nights.
That's what I said. It literally was in the talent show almost every year when I was in grade school. And we had to try out. If you sucked, you didn't make it. Mm-hmm. And I get it. Just teach your kids. I'm sorry. That's great that you're trying to sing, but you're not good at it. So let's work on something else.
Oh, I think it's hard. I feel like they shouldn't be able to do a full-length song.
Right.
You
Everyone
should have
dedicated for
tiers.
2 minutes or something.
And the really good ones, I mean, you know when you're not good. You know when you're in school and you see your classmates and you see your peers. Even as an adult, you see the people next to you killing it. You know what I mean? In real life.
If adults are delusional and don't know they suck, do you think kids do?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking back. No, I'm saying that they wouldn't know and like, hey, call it themselves. But if you had the music teacher or the variety show teacher saying, okay, well, you only made it into the 60-second slot. And then the really good ones get the full 2 minutes, 3 minute song. Why does it have to go longer? Do your bit.
I guess that's
yourself.
an alternative. I don't know
like,
what's worse. But then on the flip side, I was telling my mom, like, that's just terrible too, because you know how it is as a little kid and you're brave enough to get up in front of an auditorium full of people and sing a song. I want to applaud you for that. But then I'm also mad that you suck.
Those are the people that grow up and we hate them because they think they're so much better. They're God's gift to the world.
I guess so, yeah.
Self-awareness. Teach it. Teach it at a young age.
The next event we do, we will be raising money for self-awareness.
That is amazing. Is there a foundation?
I'm starting it. I'm going to get on the phone with my attorney and start an LLC as soon as I'm done recording this.
You're like, I got to do it before it airs, or otherwise everyone's going to be
on board.
This is the next big thing. No, it is the next big thing. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because seriously, teach it to your children. Obviously you want to be nice to your kids, but also we talked recently about allowing people to be the worst versions of themselves. So come on, guys, help everybody else, and especially young kids, help them figure out what they're good at.
Right.
Because if you're going to sit there and sugarcoat it and allow them to do X, Y, and Z, they're never going to know, and they're going to waste all this time thinking they're good at one thing. And then when they finally realize it, it's like, you knew. That's why people go to a life coach. Right. Tell me what's going on. You know what I mean? And as parents, loved ones, whatever, guide them. Be kind, but help others. Guide them into what they are successful with. I feel like when I was starting the podcast, I'm sure, or when I was starting to become a fitness instructor, I'm sure a lot of people had thoughts on it, you know? And sometimes you can just listen to it and really take it in. And sometimes you're like, well, you know what? F it. I'm going to bet on myself. And I think that this is worth it. And this is what I'm doing. It takes a lot of courage to do things. And so when you say we didn't go to school for years to become therapists or this or that, absolutely we did not, right? But then there's so many people that have done that. And they would never get on a platform like this to try to discuss, to try to open up subjects, to try to have people be vulnerable and talk about the hard things, the highs, the lows.
Or they might not even, you can be a therapist and have zero life experience. Do I want to be taking advice from someone who has no life experience? They just read it out of a book?
I know. No.
What are the credentials on that?
Yeah, let me see the laundry list. I see that diploma on the wall.
Need a little bit of trauma in your life. Were your parents divorced? Did they love each other? Did you get made fun of in grade school?
Yeah, can we laugh about things? Do you have dark humor?
Yeah.
No, then not my jam.
See ya.
That's the list we're interested in.
Yeah, show us your list.
Oh my gosh. My highs, you guys, I shared on my Instagram the other day. I had to go to the DMV. My license expired 7+ months ago.
She is so hard on herself right now because the last picture she took was literally 13 years ago.
It was 13 years ago. I didn't realize how much I have changed. First off, tell me that I need to take a photo. How dare these places?
Did you not think you needed to take a photo that was 13 years ago?
I thought I looked the same. Okay.
Okay, delusion, self-awareness. Self-awareness.
Dude. I sent you the photos.
I know, but when you were texting me, I was like, oh, maybe you just 4 years ago you took this picture.
No, because a few years ago, they just sent me a new one because I have an impeccable driving record. So they just sent me a new license, so I didn't have to go. Here's the thing. They told me I would take a vision test. I could care less about that. You're going to warn me about that, but you're not going to warn me that, hey, come with your hair done?
Did it probably said it on the sheet, but you overlooked it?
There's no sheet to be had.
They didn't send you they usually send you a letter, and then it tells you the test you need to take.
I only knew because I was in an airport with Mike, and I passed over my driver's license, and it wasn't even the TSA security guys. It was the guy in the bar when I tried to get a drink at the airport bar.
Was it expired?
Yeah, and he goes, oh, your license is expired. He's like, I don't care. I'll give you the drink, because he's looking at my face. Clearly, you're over 21. But he's like, I'll give you a drink. And I'm like, how did you notice it? And the TSA guy let me right through. But then Mike was like, don't worry, I got your passport. I was like, of course you do. That's why I love you. He's got the backups and the backup. He's probably got my birth certificate. They asked me when I was at the DMV. They didn't ask if I wanted a picture or not. That was a non-negotiable. I was doing that. But they did ask, do you want a real ID? So here's the thing. So now I'm going to have to pay another $30 come May.
But you need it.
Yeah, well, I go, yeah, let's do the real ID. And she goes, okay, cool. Do you have your passport? Yep, got it. Do you have your social security card? I'm like, that paper thing? I'm like, what? I texted Mike. I go, Mike, they expect me to be just walking around. Where is that? Where? You're lucky that I even know the number. It's not in my sheets. You know what I mean? You're lucky I know my number. And Mike goes, Patty,
you should have had, if you didn't have your social security number memorized by now,
I do. Know. It's very similar to my brother's.
Okay, well, don't say it. I thought you were going to start just rip it off.
Listen, I just went through a fraud situation. Okay, I know not to say it. No, it's similar to my brother's. So my mom would have them listed. So I always got ours confused. Now I know, because I'm an adult. I know the number. Where's that paper thing? I have no idea. Do people? And Mike's like, Patty, everyone should have it. I'm like, well, do you have mine?
Mine's in a file cabinet.
Good for you in your file cabinet, okay? Good for you in that file cabinet. Mine's probably in a safe somewhere.
Your mom probably still has it.
Well, no, because I got married. Do we need that when we get married?
I don't remember showing my I think you need a birth certificate when you get married.
I don't know where that is either. No, my mom definitely gave me all this stuff, and she probably gave me the security card. Oh, when I got my name changed, I got a new one. I can see it in my head. It's just where is it in my life? So anyways, I'm going back in May to get my real ID. I'm going to have my social, what?
Oh, because you couldn't get it when you were there because
I didn't have it
got it. I was like, why would you go back?
Well, now I'm kind of happy because guess what? I'm going to get my hair blown out and I'm going to go.
I don't think do they let you retake it? I think they're just going to use that. I'm so sorry to tell you this. I don't think they're going to let you retake it. They are going to use the same ID or same photo you just took, and they're going to put it on your real ID.
Well, I found my low. Found my low of the week. I don't know. I'm happy I got my license. It's going to come in the mail. I'm upset about the photo, but also I look a lot like my mom in my new photo. And I don't know if it's because the angle or whatever, but I'm kind of happy about it.
Oh, I was going to say, newsflash, the older we get, I see my mom every time I turn a corner and there's a mirror. I was like, is that my mom or was that me?
Yeah.
And it's we're really getting older.
Well, and I think growing up, you have this vision of your parents and who they are and all this stuff. And then you grow up and then you really see your parents. So now it kind of warms my heart. When I do look at things and I'm like, oh my God, that looks so much. And I highlighted my hair. So my mom's blonde. So I think that helps too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I guess, no picture I'm going to go in May and I'm just going to slip them a 20.
Oh yeah. And bribing a government official, that's going to end well.
Okay, so don't do that. How do I I'm just going to say, hey, my photo, I'm going to say it does not look like me. Does it look like me? And they're going to be like, yeah. And I'm going to be like, I just hate it.
How often do you stare at your license photo?
You know what? Good, valid point.
And okay, asking all the listeners, who loves their driver's license photo?
I used to.
I never. There's not one photo that I liked. Whether I've gotten ready, done my hair and makeup, they always look terrible. It's a terrible angle. It's terrible lighting. It's terrible anything.
Well, here's what's funny. I know I already said that my low is that you just told me I don't get to retake my photo, but my actual low, the same day as the freaking DMV. This is why it hit hard so much, and I didn't even realize it at the time. I teach fitness, taught a class that morning, hence why my photo is so bad because I'm still sweaty in it. And a girl in my class came up to me and goes, are you on Instagram? And I go, yeah, here's my handle, whatever. So she finds me. I'm cleaning up. She stayed late to stand there and search for my Instagram. And then she holds it up. She goes, is this you? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's it. That's me. You found me. She goes, wow. She goes, that picture is really good. And she looks at me a few times and I can see her looking as I'm cleaning. She goes, this is you?
Did you tackle her at that point? I would have been like, bitch, get out of my fucking studio.
Yeah. That's me. She goes, wow, you are so photogenic. I'm like, that is such a backhanded compliment. What is this? The insult?
Wait, but was it like
She asked, and I go, I think I said it was my Lululemon photo shoot for my ambassador photo shoot. That's my cover photo. Who doesn't put a good? I'm not putting my driver's license picture as my freaking
okay,
profile
guys?
picture.
For the month of March, everyone changed their profile picture to their driver's license photo. Let's do it.
I love that.
Let's normalize shitty pictures.
I hate this for me. I'll do it.
Let's do it. Or
I'll do
find
it.
let's just or find a really shitty picture of us and make it our profile picture.
Yeah.
Because guys, social media, it's good, bad, and ugly.
I know, right? But it's okay, good. So you see the highlight reel, and yes, I'm in fitness. So like everybody that
But
I
maybe
see,
she said it as if like she didn't expect you to be photogenic.
she asked me, "Is this you?" Bitch, I just told you that's my Instagram. Yes, it's me. Who do you think it is? Do you think I put a model up there? No, it's me. Rude.
And be like, I just got done teaching a class. I sweat for a living.
I know. So then I literally go from that class straight to the DMV. And after I go to the girl taking my photo at the DMV, I go, oh, I didn't know we had to take pictures today. I was like, oh, my makeup's in the car. I can't even swipe lip gloss on. Ugh. And then she took my photo. She goes, oh, you're really photogenic. So in my head, I'm like, okay, perfect, solid. It must be a good picture. And then when I got the printout, I was like, oh, dear God. Why did she say I was photo? Anyways.
No one is photogenic at the DMV. I challenged Jennifer Aniston to show us her driver's license, Blake Lively, Kristen Cavallari, all the pretty ones out there. Let me see what you look like on your DMV photo.
Listen, when you're like, it was after my wedding, my last one. So I was in my prime.
I think you need to forgive yourself for the 13-year age gap.
Nope.
We age.
Nope.
Get over it.
I forgive myself. I don't forgive that camera at the DMV. The angle was low. I hate it.
Do you think the government is spending good money on camera equipment for our driver's license?
Well, they should. And then also, they've changed. People are happy at the DMV. They were on Monday morning, and I was there for it.
Wow.
I was happy. The whole experience was great because you can make your appointments online.
Maybe that's when they became more happy. I don't know. The last time I was there, still people are like, I hate my life. I hate my job. I hate everything.
No, everyone was happy.
Well, that's good. That was a good experience.
Yeah, it was great. Except the one guy just kept texting. I was like, hello, I'm here. Literally staring at you, reading your text.
Typical government employee.
I was like, what? Is there a supervisor around here?
Are we being punked?
Seriously. With the photo, I should have been. I basically was punked.
You're waiting for Ashton Kutcher to come out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You get to keep your old one. Just let us live. Who cares?
Well,
give me my old photo.
Patty will eventually get over it, and we'll.
Yeah, I love how I'm like behind this cage of the microphone. How do you do it? Listen, podcasting 101.
Hello, how you doing?
You look great. All right. Anyways, well, there you have it, folks.
All right. So if we don't see you on Thursday, make sure the next time we announce an event, you're the first one to sign up, and we'll forgive you.
Yeah, I was going to say, otherwise you're dead to us. If you want a sweatshirt, message us because they are going to sell out. We thought that we'd have 15 to 20 people, and we have like quadruple that.
Yeah, we're excited, guys. We're excited. We might be walking around like a bunch of sardines in a can because we weren't expecting. We're at 50 people and still have been told that there's people wanting to come and sign up. So we're excited.
We're going to blow the roof off this place. Let's go.
Yep. So come for some fun, laughter, food, a few games, raffles, and again, to support mental health awareness. I hope you learned a little bit from us today. And once again, we're going to keep being us so you can keep being you. Bye.
Bye.